Blog Talk Radio.
As I hit the block, I see lights on my way to work, not a soul inside. Can't help it that my car is wrangling. I got a ticket cause my muffler's dragging. Y'all know I got no money. Permanent recession, so my money's funny. Can't pass concession, so my tag is fire. If I be late, then I get fired. There's gotta be a better way. Tired of struggling every day. The cost of living is killing me. No light do I see. I gotta wipe these tears away. I'm tired of struggling every day. Been at work all week, but got no cheese. Life got some robbing, knocked me to my knees. Y'all, somebody tell me what to do. My car needs fixing, but the family needs food. Ain't got no peace in all my years. Tired of crying these ghetto tears. I don't wanna cry no more. Gotta see the stimulations at the door. Won't tell no dough, can't keep them out, folks. Can't do no dirt, call jail for sure, yeah. Gotta get it some way. Gotta make the rent by Monday. Wife told me she's pregnant Sunday. Talk about the joy and pain. I gotta wipe these tears away. I'm tired of struggling every day. Been at work all week, but got no cheese. Like got some robbing, knocked me to my knees. Y'all, somebody tell me what to do. My car needs fixing, but the family needs food. Ain't had no peace in all my years. Tired of crying these ghetto tears. All these homes I see no cost. Bastard kids, so I hear gloss. Corruption, so I hear coughs. Broken spirits, so all hope drops. Yeah, it's the hustle day every day. Ain't gonna win, but the game I play. Can you win up so with things I lay? Here is where I stay. I don't wanna cry no more. I don't wanna hurt no more. Gotta make it so my season rolls. They don't need to cry no, no. I don't wanna cry no more. I don't wanna hurt no more. Gotta make it so my season rolls. They don't need to cry no, no.
Context of White Supremacy. Gus T Renegade.Is in for another program to share constructive information. I was snickering to myself. Does it sound like we gave up? I don't know. I was feeling pretty good. I didn't feel like we gave up. I hope you don't feel that way. I hope listening to the program you feel like you are getting strategies, information that will help you combat an awesome force. No doubt we have a big enemy, but we certainly can do things to win the war against racism, white supremacy. I hope this is helpful to that end. Our program today, only thing I was upset about, I guess they have a song on their sophomore album, and I was begging if I could get it on MP3 so I could share it with you all during the broadcast. That's about the only thing I'm upset about today. Everything else, and white supremacy. Other than that, I think it should be a fantastic broadcast, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity to share with you all. Once again, our guest joining us live from Memphis, Tennessee. You'll get to learn what so-called Afrikan Insurrektion Muzik. You'll get to learn what that is and judge for yourself based on the products you hear on this program. Their third album, Revolutionary Reconstruction. You can pick up a copy. Just click the link for that title, Revolutionary Reconstruction. It will take you to, I believe it will take you to Children of Southampton, their website, where you can click a copy and pick up a copy. I'm sure they would appreciate the support. Our guests live from Memphis, Tennessee, Agale and Jamalo Brothers Keeper. Do I have both of you on the line with me?
Yes, sir. Black Power, my brother.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for joining us for the evening. I appreciate you all sharing some time out of your schedule.
Yes, sir. We are very humbled to be a part of it.
And outstanding. I guess for our listeners, could you just give us a little bit of just background information to get more into it as we go through the program? Just a little bit of background information, more about who you are, Brothers Keeper.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, basically, we are Brothers Keeper. I'm Jamalo. My brother is Yele. He should be on the line. You there, brother? Okay, I can't hear him. I think he's there. And we are spoken word artists. We do hip hop, Afrikan Insurrektion Muzik, political hip hop, spoken word, theater, R&B, and jazz, and what sounds like gospel, but we're singing, for our ancestors. And basically, what we do is we use what the Creator has given us to raise funds. We have a prison prevention program. We feed the homeless every other Sunday. We have a theater program in Memphis. And basically, we don't ask no crackers to give us money to help us. It ain't your enemy job to help you. So, we try to give our people a quality product, full of truth and full of historical research and truth. And hopefully they'll support us and help us so we can try to overthrow this white supremacy.
Wow. I have two different folks on the line. I have the wrong person on the line. That's what it is. I thought I had... Bang, there we go. Let's try it again. Do I have everybody from Brothers Keepers on the line with me now?
Yeah, this is Gale. How you doing, brother?
Outstanding. My fault, Gale. I had the wrong line. It was too many 9 numbers throwing me off, sir. My apologies.
No problem. Yes, sir. It should be 2901 zip code, area codes.
Yes, sir. We got them both now.
All right. Wonderful. Yes, sir, man. We are more than honored to be a part of your show on this evening, my brother.
The pleasure is ours, sir. The pleasure is ours. I didn't want to leave you out, Gale. Did you want to give them a little bit of background information about yourself, or you want to just share as we go?
Well, man, we just 2 country brothers from Memphis, Tennessee, putting out the word of the ancestors, man. That's all. We just trying to wake up some minds and wake up some lives, man. Wake up some people, man, so that we can get ourselves out of the muck and mire clay, as we say, that we in right now.
All good.
They're right.
Wow.
They're right.
You are both black males. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This program, the C.O.W.S, Context of White Supremacy, I have unfortunately concluded that we are in a global system of racism, white supremacy. I use those 2 terms interchangeably, and I use the same definition for both terms. My definition is as follows. A global system of people who classify themselves as white and are dedicated to abusing and or subjugating everyone in the known universe whom they classify as not white. Do you believe that such a system exists, and do you think that definition is accurate?
Well, brother, I think that's a beautiful definition. That's a beautiful definition, brother. I mean, I wish that we can, there was some way that we could get everybody to take the proverbial pill to wake up tomorrow and understand that this thing actually exists. But, we have been traditionally trained to believe that the devil does not exist. You know what I'm saying? But once we come to the realization that the devil does exist, and the devil has buttermilk skin, you ain't got no horns. You know what I'm saying? Right. We'll begin to get ourselves about the situation, I guess.
That's right. We were trained to to understand that there are 3 types of people on the face of the earth. You have crackers, who are a minority on the planet Earth. You have people of color who are a majority of the planet Earth, and you have cracker supremacists, who are a so-called minority within a minority. And not all crackers are cracker supremacists. However, all crackers benefit from white supremacy, and most of them don't have a problem with it. Therefore, all of them are cracker supremacists. You dig what I'm saying? So, your definition is more than accurate, my brother. I just wish more of us would realize that and hold on to that truth.
Wow. I'm going to go to my co-host and see if she has some questions. Justice, if you are there, your mic should be open. Feel free to ask any questions you like.
Hello. What were you doing at the Nat Turner celebration?
Oh, go ahead, Brother Yele.
Well, we had the fortunate opportunity to debut, I guess, what will be considered the first Afrikan Insurrektion musical. That was the Nat Turner Day musical with Sister Neff up there, a beautiful sister who's putting it down. And we had a wonderful time. We participated in the brothers in their lectures, Brother Irritated Genie and the other brother, and we just had a wonderful time. If you missed it, oh my God, you really missed a treat.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. Just anytime you can be a part of anything with the Honorable Nat Turner's name in it, it's just more than a glorious time. So we were just more than humbled to be a part of it. And, as Brother was saying, we did the first ever Afrikan Insurrektion musical, which is purely a play, as we know it's theater. But what has become theater as far as blacks are concerned, we're used to this chitlin circuit, Porch Monkey, Uncle Tom, Sambo brand of theater with 6'3" transvestites walking across the stage singing 15-minute gospel songs about a white Jesus. So what we did, we just took that concept and flipped it into our history.
I see. I missed it.
Oh, sister, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I see. Was the Nat Turner celebration constructive to you? If so, how was it constructive?
Oh, well, anytime that you get a bunch of brothers and sisters together discussing our history without the cracker being present is always a positive thing, especially when you're talking about someone who struck a real deal blow in the name of collective liberation for oppressed Africans in the hills of North America. So anytime you get to learn about a killer, Nat Turner was a cracker killer. So that's just so beautiful in itself. So anytime we get to talk about Nat Turner, Will the Executioner, anybody who struck a real deal blow and did not come up with this we shall overcome attitude, trying to befriend unfriendly people, it's just a beautiful thing. So we were more than honored to be a part of it.
Were there children at the Nat Turner celebration? If so, what were they doing, and were they doing something constructive?
Yes, ma'am. There were. We had the African dance ensemble that was there, who consisted of children from probably age 1.5 to probably age 19 or and above. Dancing and enjoying themselves. There were children who listened to Mr. Johnson's lecture and actually got some very good information out of there to help guide them along this path and this journey to steer them away from this jailhouse or schoolhouse to jailhouse program that they have. There were vendors there. I mean, the children participated in everything from the aspect of business, doing business with one another, to the dance, to the classroom. So I mean, it was action packed for children and adults alike.
Okay, that'll be all for now.
Well, thank you kindly, little sister.
Thank you so much.
Context of White Supremacy, Justice, Gus T Renegade, and Brothers Keepa. I want to check to make sure I'm pronouncing names correctly. I was saying, is it Agale? Am I saying it correctly?
Ayele.
Ayele. Thank you.
Ayele. Yes, sir.
Ayele and Jamalo. Am I saying it correctly?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Ayele Jamala. Okay. Outstanding. I guess before we go any further, you all are talking pretty bad about white people. I don't know. How do people respond to that when you go out to perform? How do people respond to the way that you talk about white people?
Wow, man, it's we get either 0 or 100 type responses. Matter of fact, the weekend of the Nat Turner Day celebration, we were scheduled to do a feature at some poetry spot in Philly, and I can't remember the name of it, but we went there. And the sister who was hosting the set for the evening, she said, we're going to start the night off with an open conversation. So, somebody tells me, if anything has made you mad during the week or during the day, yell it out so we can talk about it. And I yelled out, crackers piss me off. And the crowd, it was just a big hush over the crowd. And this Sambo Negro got up, because he had brought his German Shepherd into the spot with him, and, oh, no, B, you can't come in here and disrespect us like that, B. We're going to have to set it off in here, B. This Porch Monkey Negro was really defending his German Shepherd, Cocker Spaniel girl that he brought in, you know what I'm saying? And then, sometimes, we deal with normal everyday hood brothers and sisters, so among the normal people, who most of us would consider to be the lost masses, most of them know our condition ain't right, but they don't know exactly what ain't right about it. So when you go to them and tell them that the cracker is the devil and the cracker woman is a devil manufacturer, they can believe it, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, these certain class of so-called bougie, upper epsilon Negroes that, those are the ones who bought into the whole post-racial era and all that good stuff. We're all one in this whole utopia. So it's a mixed response, but we can't help but to tell the truth. It is what it is, and ain't what you think.
Wow. Okay. I guess I was just looking at the name and thinking the name says a lot about a group and what they're interested in, what their focus is going to be on. Jay-Z naming his company Rockefeller, that's very interesting. I mean, that right there tells you a lot about, what this organization is about, their role model. It seems your name would suggest you have a concern for black people or concern for someone. Can you just, share a little bit more about why you chose the name Brothers Keeper?
Well, I come up in a time where in our neighborhoods we took care of one another. If I grew greens in my yard and you grew peas in your yard, then when the harvest came in, I gave you some of my greens and you gave me some of your peas. I grew up in a time where in the neighborhood, the person down the street, if they caught you doing something out of the way, they can beat your behind and send you home. And then when you get home and they call down and said that they had to get in your behind, your mama got you or your daddy got you because somebody else down the street had to get you. So when you come up with that kind of concept, growing up, you have to understand that we are, whether we want to or not, our brother's keeper. And sometimes when a lot of our brothers fall prey to this white supremacist mindset, then they feel that, because they get a little money or they got a little education in a European standard or, that type of thing, that they have arrived and they have made it. But it's mighty funny that when that particular individual meets a hardship, then they're quick to say, they did that because that I'm black. But if you don't have a concept of whether you are black to start, then how can you scream they did you wrong when you didn't want to be in that situation in the first beginning?
Exactly.
So we have to have a working vocabulary of racism and white supremacy. And we as parents and adults have to teach that vocabulary and that construct to our children and our children's children and so on and so forth, so that they have a vivid understanding of what it is. You can't fight what it is that you don't see, or you can't understand what you've never gone through. So when you do it like that, and you look at the group Brothers Keeper and what we do, we have to understand that as my brother, I'm going to fight with you against whatever enemy comes in your way. And I don't have to have a concern about the feelings of whites or Europeans or crackers or whatever vernacular you want to use. We have to understand that we're going to have to do it for ourselves. We can't depend on a benevolent cracker to come from the sky and save us. We got to save ourselves. So as brothers keepers, that's our main focus. We're going to save our brothers and our sisters no matter what.
Wow. Okay. I want to ask about what inspired you all, and I want to ask two different questions about that. The first one, what inspired you to create what is called Afrikan Insurrektion Muzik? Like what artists or any other influence that got you to the point where you said, yeah, we're going to make music to battle racism, white supremacy?
Well, first of all, I think our parents had the biggest influence on us. I remember being like in maybe third or fourth grade, and I was singing that song that Prince had out of Pop Life, What's the Matter with Your Life? And I got to the part that said, what you putting in your nose? And my mama asked me, did I know what the man was talking about? And, of course, at that age, I had no idea, what that song meant. And I told her, no, ma'am, I just like the song. And she said, you need to be very, very, very careful about what you entertain, because you don't know what you're talking about, what that man's talking about. You need to find out what he's talking about, and you see if that's something that you need to be talking about. And so at a very early age, they instilled in us that we had a responsibility. If we have the people's ear, that we must give them something that can help them instead of harming them. And cats like the Last Poets, Gibbs, Context, of course, Public Enemy, Poor Righteous Teachers, and the list goes on and on as far as artists are concerned. Mayfield, Marvin, a whole lot of brothers and sisters who were doing it, in the name of liberation. And, but we wouldn't have any peace if we didn't do it. So, it's just our responsibility, and we take it seriously.
Ayele, did you want to add anything or?
Well, I'd just like to add that, in this thing called entertainment, there used to be a concept called edutainment, where the brothers the message in the music went off way more than the beat ever did. When Marvin sing What's Going On and Donny Hathaway sing A Song for You, those songs had a message in it, and those messages resonated in the ears of the people. So we would be remiss if we didn't follow the long line of people who put a message in the music. So our music is not just designed to entertain. It's to educate and entertain at the same time. So that's, in the
Brother Yelly like to say, I'm sorry, I was just going to say, Brother Yelly like to say it's like that parent who puts a little applesauce in the children's medicine so they'll go on and eat it and go on and take the medicine.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The second part of that is what inspires you to continue to do this work now that this is your third album, Revolutionary Reconstruction. What inspires you to keep going? Because I know it's got to be tough out there doing the work that you do, and the way the folks responded to you at the open mic spot in Philadelphia. What inspires you to keep going doing this work?
The struggle, I think, number one, we wouldn't have any peace if we didn't do it. And, we've been presented with a lot of opportunities to go mainstream. Obviously the stuff that a lot of these cats write and sing and, rap or whatever you want to call it, it has no subject matter, and it's, no more than a third grade vocabulary is needed to write a lot of these songs, so that's very easy to come up with. And we've been presented with, a lot of opportunities to go mainstream, but we know that the Creator and the ancestors will beat the mess out of us if we turn our back on our people. And that's not something that we're interested in doing anyway. And I think, I think what the main thing that encourages us to keep going is our condition has not changed. As far as the whole. You go ahead, Brother Yelly.
Well, it's just the fact that, what Garvey talked about is still relevant today. What Malcolm talked about is still relevant today. Even Dessalines and all the rest of these brothers, is still relevant today. So if things had changed so much that it made what they had said, 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago irrelevant, then it may not be a need for us. But at this present moment, and this present time, the need exists even more than it did then. So we got to keep doing what it is that we do.
Yes, sir. We have no choice in the matter.
No choice.
No choice.
Wow. I am in Seattle, Washington right now, but most of my life I grew up in the South, lived in Atlanta, and I remember when I first got exposed from music from Memphis, and it was striking. I'll say that. I remember when I'll just play the song and you can respond. I'm just gonna play like 10 seconds just so you all can get a feel. This is the first time I heard hip hop music from Memphis, and I just want to get your response to see if you've heard this and what's your thoughts about the impact that this music has on black people. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Okay, here we go. That was the first music I ever heard from somebody from Memphis. And I just remember saying, wow, you just said it's not above a third grade vocabulary level. Can you, if you've heard that song before, can you just share your thoughts on that and the impact it has on black people?
So there's almost a three-part answer there. Being from Memphis, the artists, we bump heads a lot. On the personal level, these are some pretty cool dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see them in the street, they'll speak to you, shake your hand. Mannerable cats. You know what I'm saying? Number two, they're very poorly educated of self. They've been heavily miseducated, so to say. And they have actually no earthly idea that these small head kites are using them as a weapon of mass destruction against their own people. And when we try to tell them that that's what's going on, sometimes they'll give you a look like, wow, I didn't know that, but what am I supposed to do now because I'm in too deep? The devil has presented them with an offer that they can't refuse. And it's nothing but death music that promotes a death style. Brother Yele?
Oh yeah, you're absolutely correct, brother. When you try to, I guess, educate people who don't have a clue of what you're saying, then it's like we were taught. If you don't have 10 years to invest into bringing them up to the level, then you're probably going to be fighting a losing battle. These guys understand that, I can put out this music and I can so-called live the life that I'm supposed to live. But is it really living? You know what I'm saying? We call it death music. And that's exactly what's happening. When this gangsterization of music happened, you saw an escalation in the killing of one brother to another. But when you had Curtis Mayfield and them out there singing brother, 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 it's hard to kill someone that is your brother or somebody that you consider to be a brother. An N-word, that's less than a roach, that's less than an animal. So you can kill an N-word without having to put any effort into it. So, like I said, these brothers don't even have a clue of what it is that they're putting out. But they're putting it out because that Jewish backer said, put that out, and I'll pay you. But we have been taught all our life that what profit a man that gains the whole world and lose his soul. So, like I said, these some good brothers in hard. I guess one of these days they'll come into the knowledge of, I guess. I hope anyway.
Yeah, it's wild, man. And what's so crazy is that has put a stamp on the whole city. And Brother Yele and I went in the studio one day, and I think this was off our first CD, where we have a hook on there that said, "We gonna ride on these streets, mother the police." And it was some young heads that were in the booth right when we came, and they were some degenerate songs talking about black on black crime, basically, to make a long story short.
But what ear what they throat cut? What ear won't they throat cut?
What N-word want the throat cut? What N-word want the throat cut? Step up, what N-word want they throat cut? And but when they heard our music, they was like, "Man, y'all crazy." We like, "No, we talking about killing crackers. Y'all talking about killing each other. My brother, you tell me who crazy? Who is white supremacist friend of crazy? So
what they said, we gonna get locked up."
Yeah, we gonna get locked up and wanting to kill crackers, but I mean, you can kill your brother all day, every day, and it's cool. Matter of fact, those cats won an Oscar for another song, "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp." You know what I'm saying? I mean, some stuff that my second grade niece could have wrote. You know what I'm saying? But Master he will reward his jesters. You know what I'm saying? That's all these cats are, is plantation jesters. They're chumps.
What impact have you seen? Because the song clip that I played, that came out almost 10 years ago. What has the impact been as you've observed this evolve over, several years now?
Well, one impact that I can definitely see is an effeminization of black males that has come out of this music. I can definitely see young black men. If you look at the average young black child today, he will look more effeminated than he would masculine. And I think that because of the homosexual input into this so-called gangster nation is a definite effect of the degenerated type music. We were taught that a nation cannot rise no higher than the status of its woman. But if every rap song on the radio puts down the black woman, talks about black woman, she's not this, she's not that, then I guess you're going to see what it is that they're saying. And you're going to act accordingly and respond to it. We see a merger of jailhouse culture into the black community based on the music that they hear. We see everything. The drug sales, everything goes up based on the music that these young people are listening to. Murders and death. It's crazy.
And this gotten so bad, man. You got cats in the suburbs, wanting to be thugs now. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Their crime doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Cats used to sell dope because they couldn't eat in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Now you got cats in the suburbs, living in 2-3-story homes. Parents got real decent jobs and they go to a decent county school. But, these are same cats, and your perception is your reality. I mean, it's so crazy out here, man. We got gangbangers in the suburbs now, I'm sure we're no different from any other city. But, I mean, just, peep the sensationalism of the whole gangster, the whole gangster lifestyle, hustler lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's crazy, like the they was saying, you got dudes with skinny jeans and spandex shirts on now, you know what I'm saying? A real deal homo thugs or something, you know what I'm saying? Sissy dope boys or something, you know what I'm saying? A faggot GD or something, a homosexual vice lord or something, you know what I'm saying? They don't tell it where. I mean, this music got us all kind of screwed up, man. At the end of Little Sisters, I remember Malcolm said they called him nigga so much he thought nigga was his name, you know what I'm saying? Now the Little Sisters, refer to each other as bitch, you know what I'm saying? What's up, bitch? What's up, hoe? You know what I'm saying? This is what the music has done to us, man. And we're not trying to blame the whole world's problem on so-called hip-hop. America's problem goes far beyond, the music. But, I mean, it's certainly, in certain years, in recent years, has added on to a lot of problems that we have had, as far as degeneracy.
I wanted to make sure I didn't lose that first point. I felt that was real important. You felt there is a connection between the emasculation, effeminization of black males in hip-hop music and the degradation of black females. You think those two are related. Is that accurate?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
Because you don't see, even in rock music, you rarely ever hear anything on the white genre of music, whether it be country or pop or whatever, denigrate the white woman. But everything that comes out of these so-called brothers' mouth denigrates the black woman.
Exactly.
So it has to be a correlation.
It's the most foul, nasty thing walking. You know what I'm saying? And their men even have sense enough not to, degrade their women on songs because it's over airwaves. But our little brothers, it's utterly ridiculous, man. We were doing a male workshop at the school in LA. And while we were teaching class, there was a young man, beating on the desk. He wasn't disruptive or nothing. He was, quietly beating on the desk, and he was obviously rhyming to himself, And so I stopped class. I'm like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You MC, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, man, I do a little something. I said, I tell you what, man, give me a beat. I'm a freestyler, John. I'm a freestyle 12 bars. You freestyle 12 bars. And then, the whole class, went to giving us a beat. I went on a freestyle for the young man. And then when his time came, he just looked at me and said, man, I can't talk about this stuff you talk about. I said, for real? I said, okay, well, what you talk about, man? Man, I just rather not say, you know what I'm saying? I said, man, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? I mean, holler black at me, bro. That's what we in here for. He said, man, I just be talking about these hoes, man. I just be talking about these hoes, you know what I'm saying? What, women? Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Okay, well, what about women, man? Man, shoot, these hoes, man. I said, so, what, you a pimp? You got hoes? You don't strike me as no pimp, bro. You know what I'm saying? Your dress don't, look that of a pimp. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't just saying I'm no pimp or no player, I'm just saying these hoes. I said, well, do you love your mama? Yeah, I love my mama. Is your mama a hoe? No, man, talking about these hoes, man. I said, what, you a faggot? No, I ain't no faggot. I like women. I said, man, that ain't what it sound like. You know what I'm saying? You talking bad about women. Sound like to me you like dudes or something. Either some woman done hurt you when you was in third, second grade and you ain't got over it. You know what I'm saying? What's up? And he couldn't give me a straight answer. It's just what he has been trained to think. Therefore, that is what he has been trained to write and say. Heavy duty stuff, man.
Context of White Supremacy. Justice, if you have some questions for Brothers Keepa, please go right ahead.
Why did you want to make music?
What she said, I didn't understand what she said.
She said, why do we want to make music?
Well, we come from strong backgrounds of music. From gospel to, all the way up. And it's just in us to make music. But the question is, if you have a platform or an ear to the world, what is it that you would like to say? What is it that you would want to encourage somebody to do or not to do? Well, if you have the ear of the people, then I guess you're bound under a certain responsibility and duty to say something that would uplift your people.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Okay, that'll be enough.
Okay. This is your third album, Revolutionary Reconstruction. Revolutionary Reconstruction. I want to rewind back a little bit. 2 albums before that, the second album that you all did, The Re-Education of the Negro. That's album number 2. Is that accurate?
That's right.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Could you tell us a little bit about that project? Because I found one of the many things that stood out, obviously playing off of Carter G. Woodson's Miseducation of the Negro, Can you tell us what you were trying to do with that album? What was your objective with re-education of the Negro?
Yes, basically, the title, we tried to get it, so the title was People, like you said, to play off of the miseducation of the Negro. There comes a time to where you have to unlearn what you've been taught, and what you have been taught hasn't gotten you to a certain point of self-accountability, self-dependability, and, the right to determine your own destiny. So what our enemy has taught us has only benefited our enemy. So we're just trying to get our people along with ourselves, because we're learning and teaching all at the same time along with the people, trying to get ourselves to unlearn incorrect procedure as far as living and surviving, and re-educate ourselves with healthy things, being that emotionally, historically, physically, financially, whatever. We need to learn to live without crackers, period, well, whatever that may be. We have to learn to have some type of self-dependability, to where we only depend upon ourselves and not upon our enemy to feed, house, and clothe us.
And there's also an opportunity for us to get the listener to understand what is going on with them. A lot of people have an awareness that something just ain't right. They just don't know what it is that is not right. But this album was put in place to give them some type of awareness about how they got into the situation that they're in, who was the person that helped facilitate that, and how they're going to get themselves out of it. So it was kind of a project that we had to go to break the ice. Now that we have broken the ice with the re-education, now that you re-educated, then we're doing a revolutionary reconstruction. Now that we know, now we can go in and tear down all those fallacies that we know of and then build them back up.
Indeed.
Wow. I want to, hopefully, if you all get it to me, I'll play the song Blackface. I'll play it tomorrow when we have Kush the Black Unifier on the program. If I had it, I would have played it today. Can you tell them a little bit, just so they'll have a bit of the excitement that I had? What's going on in the song Blackface?
Oh man, Blackface!
That was one of the best projects we ever did.
It was real fun, man. Basically, we wrote an introduction to a poem, and it sounds like the stereotypical hypersexual R&B song, and then we go into the poem, to which breaks down what these degenerate videos and songs have done to us, and pretty much the blackface artists. That's what we have become now. Just carrying on from the chipping circuit and sensationalizing things that are very unhealthy for us, and we love it. If you feed a child rotten food for long enough, what I'm saying, he'll reject the fresh food when he gets it. And that's what we've been doing. We've been fed this hypersexual songs, these hyper-violent songs and everything, so much that now, when somebody comes with something that makes a little sense, we rebel from it.
Wow.
Yeah,
you all got to check.
We go into that song, and the beginning of that song is so relevant, because the song says that as the guy that's singing that song, I don't even know this sister's name, but I want to have sex with her. You know what I'm saying? That in itself is something that we're running head first in as a race of people. We have sex with individuals that we don't even know. We don't know their disposition. We don't know anything about their personal health or history. We don't know anything about this individual. But we're in a rush to have sex with one another. So that plays out not only in our songs and music, but it also plays out in the psyche. And because of that, we can't have our homes and divorce rate and all this stuff is at all-time highs. Our infection from AIDS and HIV is at all-time highs. You know what I'm saying? But if we would just listen to that song and understand what that song is saying, then I think we could really get a vivid understanding of what we need not to do as males and females.
That is correct.
Yeah, if I can get my hands on it, I will play it. Listeners, tune in tomorrow. Kush the Black Unifier, Positive Comedic Visions. He'll be here tomorrow evening. I will make sure to play it if I have it, MP3 file. You got to check this out. It's
I get it
second
first thing in the morning, brother.
There you go. We'll play it tomorrow. This is off the second album, so maybe you can go and pick up 2 copies. You can get the new one, Revolutionary Reconstruction, and you can get number 2. You should go ahead and get all 3 of them. The second one, Re-Education of the Negro. I guess, well, we have people that called in too, so I'll do 2 questions and then I'll take some calls if that's okay with you gentlemen. Is that all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. The first project you all did, Resurrection, the imagery on the album cover I found really striking. Can you kind of talk about that? Because people, they have an image of it included. So if you're listening at Blog Talk Radio, you get a shot of what that cover looks like. Can you talk about the imagery and how that relates to what you wanted to accomplish with that first debut album?
Go ahead, Brother Yelly.
Well, as the imagery on there, you can see the graveyards, and the graveyards represent the minds of the masses of people, and also on the back, the proverbial illustration of he ain't heavy, where one brother reaches back and gets the other brother and brings him up, but on the illustration on the CD shows an explosion happening when one brother reaches out for another brother and helps him up. It's that power and that will to survive that comes when brothers put their heads together, not negating the fact that sisters have a major part to play too, but it's when those brothers come together. That means the families will come together. You know what I'm saying? And man, it was designed to, I guess, give insight on the powerful message that was inside the CD.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just, wanted our people to, realize that we are God's original people. We come from a great lineage of great people, Imhotep, Queen Ashanti, Shaka Zulu. And, want our people to know who we are, whose we are. So we will discontinue this unking and queen-like behavior and be who we're supposed to be. So we want to resurrect the mindset of the people.
Wow. Again, Ayele, Jamalo, Brothers Keeper. So you have the mind, resurrecting the mind of the folks that are listening to your music, re-educated. Now we moved on Project 3, Revolutionary Reconstruction. What's the objective with your third album?
Like I said before, go ahead, bro.
Oh, well, with Revolutionary Reconstruction, what we want to do is tear down so we can build up. Khalil Muhammad said in order to make way for the peacemaker, you got to first get rid of the peacebreaker. So that's the total, the total concept behind Revolutionary Reconstruction. We got to tear down white supremacy so we can build up a black nation.
That's right, and what it means by that, we have to tear down the auspices of religion. We have to tear down the white supremacy in our homes. We have to tear down the white supremacy in our images. We have to tear down the white supremacy in our mindsets for one another in order for us to construct the world that we want to live in the future. And that's the basic premise of it.
Yes, sir.
When you say we have to tear down the white supremacy in our homes, what do you mean by that exactly? Because, most of us, we don't have, a white person that's, doing crazy stuff to us in the house. What do you mean when you say the white supremacy in our homes?
Well, what I mean by tearing down the white supremacy in our homes is that whether white people fell off the face of the earth tomorrow, we would still have white supremacy in our homes. Because our mindset is the mindset of the cracker. Our mindset is the mindset that we have a war going on between our husbands and our wives, our males and our females. And even if we did away with it tomorrow, we will still have to combat it because we have forgotten our way. We have forgotten our roles. We have forgotten our morals and our values that they used to make us one of the greatest people ever known to man. But if our homes ain't right, our communities can't be right. If our community can't be right, our cities and states ain't going to be right. If our cities and states ain't right, then our nation is never going to be right. So from just a small microcosm in the macrocosm, you know what I'm saying? We got to get this thing right, man.
Exactly. And like they say, you know, if all crackers die right now, we still have to deal with white supremacy in our head. If you ever seen the movie The Mac, the blind man told Goldie, any man can control a woman's body. The trick is to control that woman's mind. Crackers done pimped us. You know, we become little hoes for crackers. So even when the mouse ain't around, you got some porch monkey Uncle Tom Negro either advertently or inadvertently doing the dirty bidding of the slave master. That's right. That's the condition we're in.
Wow. For folks who want to support, if you're listening at Blog Talk Radio, you can click Revolutionary Reconstruction. That will take you to Children of Southampton's website, Sister Nefertari. They are selling the album. You can get a copy or several copies. You can get it right there. Do you all have a different site you would like to tell folks about? If there are other places they can go if they want to get the latest album or any of your previous work?
They can go to cdbaby.com, cdbaby.com/Brothers Keepa. And we do all the proceeds benefit our prison prevention program. We feed the homeless every other Sunday. We have a theater camp for children. We have a gang redirection program. And as we said before, you know, we don't get any money from crackers. It's not white folks' responsibility to help us do anything. So we want ourselves to help ourselves get out of this situation that the cracker put us in, because we do have the ability to get out of it. So that's what all the CD sales go to, you know, help us.
Wow. Is that cdbaby.com? Was it /Brothers Keeper?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll link that to the program. I'll put that with you all's name. I'll do that immediately. I want to go, least I can do, sir. Least I can do. I'm going to hit the phone lines and take a few questions from folks really quick. I believe this is someone in Philadelphia. 1320. Did you have a question?
Yes, I do. I noticed that he mentioned the effeminization of the African American male, which is based off, I guess, gangster rap and everything. And I wanted him to go a little more in depth with that, because even though there are messages that are anti-female, and in my opinion, anti-life, if you're speaking badly about women, I would need to hear a little more. I would like to hear a little more about, you know, I would like them to expand on what they were saying earlier, because you may think it's masculine when I guess when it's voiced so strongly, but I guess in turn, how can it be if you're talking about creation?
Well, I'm going to feel like this. The role of a man is to provide and protect his woman. If you are too pretty to get out in front of your woman and protect her, then you are working outside the realm of a man. If you are denigrating your woman and putting her down and hurting her self-respect and her beauty and her intellect, and you're negating all the things that makes her a beautiful queen, then you're working outside of the realm of a man. If you look like a woman, if I can distinguish a woman and a man, then you're working outside the realm of being a man. And what we're dealing with right now is that because women have an emotional connection to so-called men of power, they are putting their guards down, and they're allowing men who are still boys or inspiring females, I mean homosexuals, to enter into their homes, to enter into the lives of their children, to molest and rape their children because they're acting from an emotional aspect. But we have been taught that as a man, it is your job and your duty and your responsibility to protect that black female, even if it costs you your life. So if you are working outside of that aspect, you are not acting in the role of a man.
Exactly. And what has happened is that, it didn't come on, all at once. The easiest way to cook a frog, if you like frog legs, you put a frog in some lukewarm water and you gradually turn the temperature up. And before you know it, you got frog legs because the water's too hot or too cold, the frog is going to jump out. So that's what's happened, as far as morality is concerned, as a whole, black folk ain't never liked no homosexual stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that none have ever existed, but when, even when I was growing up, maybe you had one punk in the hood and you had one dyke. And everybody knew not to mess with them because we knew that they were sick. You know what I'm saying? And so what has happened is, far back as I can remember was Flip Wilson. Everybody, I remember my grandmama laughing at the Flip Wilson show because she thought it was so funny when he was playing Geraldine. And then when I got a little older, I saw Derek Fox as Shantae on Uptown Comedy Hour. Then I saw Martin as Sinead, and saw Jamie Foxx as Wanda. And you keep seeing these images. And now Tyler Perry is Madea, but I mean every brother has put on a dress, you know what I'm saying? And it was funny, but we have to understand that when we entertain those type of images in front of our children, we're letting our sons know that it's okay if I walk in the house and see you with my clothes on if you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We're condoning that type of behavior, even to the fact of where, Lil Wayne's song, she like liquor like a lollipop. We listen to that song in front of our little girls. That means it's okay if I come home from work early and you in the front room licking some dude like he's a lollipop. I told you it was okay because I listened to the song in front of you. So we are totally outside of ourselves right now. And, very quickly, since we on that morality thing, Monique had a reality show. I think she was working with the Flavor Flav girls trying to teach her some class or something. But anyway, they were at this party. And one of these little cracker girls, there was an ice sculpture at the party. And the ice sculpture was of a man. And where the man's penis was where the drink came out. Everybody else was putting the cup up under the fountain and letting the water run out. But this little Nancy Cracker girl, she puts her mouth on it like she's actually, performing fellatio on this ice sculpture. And Monique was, of course, appalled. When she confronted the little Cracker girl, the Cracker girl said, Monique, you're a black woman. I'm a white girl. Black women, y'all are moral. Y'all are conservative. There's certain things y'all ain't going to do in public. Certain things y'all ain't going to do in private. But to me, it's just innocent, sweet fun. I'm a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl. And so the roles have changed. No one knows who they are when it comes to black folk. Our men don't know to be men, and our women don't know to be women. And that is due to white supremacy.
Caller in Philadelphia, did that clear things up for you, or you have it now?
You know what? I do, but I didn't even think of it from that aspect because I remember when we had NWA, and about the only other group that I'm aware of that's kind of young, that's rapping in the system, enlightened, is Dead Prez out of Philly. But, they don't really get a lot of airplay. And I hadn't really thought of it from the perspective of, I think a lot of young males have forgotten that they do have to protect. And when you hear the rap songs on the radio station and see the videos, nobody's protecting the African American female. As a matter of fact, we got people like Nicki Minaj, and the list goes on and on. And so it is problematic because children look at TV and they suck the images up. And now, to me, I see a lot of women dressing, inappropriately, and I see a lot of men with their pants sagging, and that's appalling to me. And it's putting everything in perspective. I just kind of didn't know what was going on. I thought everything was going to, hell. In a Gucci handbag, as one of my friends would like to say. And it's kind of it's scary because at first, when you had NWA singing about kill the police, at least we understood why, because we had Rodney King, and that was a reaction to things that was going on, and it was an appropriate reaction if you really think about it. Mm-hmm. But now, we don't know how we got from F the police to I can't even name police.
Pretty boy swag. Dudes calling themselves pretty. I mean, it can't get no more ridiculous than this.
And let's look at it from another standpoint. Statistically speaking, 85% of black women have been raped and or molested as young girls. When you got music that's playing that says that she ain't worth anything, and you got pedophiles causing so many women to have issues when they get into their adult lives based on the fact that they ain't worth nothing anyway. Yeah. When you have that kind of mindset playing around in the minds of people today, that's a dangerous thing. So we can't take any of this as being it's just music, or it's just TV, or y'all looking at things too deep. Nothing is too deep. Nothing is too deep. Everything that's being done today has a white supremacist background in it, if it's not in the forefront. This Nicki Minaj, that's a tormented soul. That woman don't know what she want to be, surgically enhanced, hypersexual, inappropriately dressed. She, inside herself, is not worth anything. And it's probably because of the time, the music, the TV, and the whole 9 yards. So we have to look at everything analytically. We have to look at things with an Afrocentric aspect to everything, because it's very relevant.
Very, very. And the sister asked, how did we get there? And it was funny that you brought up NWA in the same statement. NWA, I'm going to go out on a limb and say they were tricked into switching the paradigm of hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but I know they had a Jewish, a cracker, Johnny-come-lately kite manager. And that's when they turned degenerate. They were already, out the frame with, F the Police and Dope Man and all that stuff, the songs you brought up earlier. But then we go to, what She Swallowed It and all that type stuff, They just got pure D out of control, a B is a B, you know what I'm saying? And that was those kites did that. They gave them an offer that they could not refuse.
Mr. Nero, did you have a question? Mr. Nero, I wanted to check.
I'm in mixed company, but I just wanted to ask a general question. If black males' responsibility is not protecting and providing, then I'd like to know what it is.
Well, if you don't feel that you need to protect and provide for your woman, brother, then I don't know what it is to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not your role, if that's not your job, I'm sorry. I don't know what it is to tell you.
Protect and provide. That's what it is, and a lot of times, man, our sisters have been so beaten up that they have taken on dual roles for so long that they don't know how to let go of that little power. So it's hard. It's rough on brothers and sisters right now. The man is supposed to protect and provide, and the woman right now doesn't know how to receive the protection or the provision because she's had to do it for so long. And so we just got, our men have to be men and our women have to learn to be women again. So we got to relearn
all I can remember
kind of thing. Yeah.
All I can remember as a young male growing up was my grandfather providing for his family. His father provided for his family. As a man, I watched my father protect my family. So if the role of a man is not protecting and providing for his family, then please, share with me what you think the role of a man is.
Yeah, that's the role. That's the role.
Knowing Mr. Nero, I suspect he was asking that question rhetorically.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. The person that called in last 4 digits 2658. 2658.
Yeah. I think that was a facetious question, but that's our role, to protect and provide. That's it.
Let's see. Oops, sorry. Okay, I got it now. Person who called in 2658. 2658. Did you have a question?
Good evening, Brother Gus.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, guest.
Hey, good evening, Brother Black Power.
Black Power. I'm calling from Miami Gardens, Florida. and listened to your program, a question did come to my mind. I would like to know your ideas on the influence of greater confinement of non-white black males and females, and the influence that it has on the sounds that our young people primarily listen to today.
You mean interracial relationships?
In just about everything that, as far as influence is concerned, just about everything that they're influenced by. What do you think the greater confinement, or what is commonly called the prison industrial complex, its influences in music have on our young people today?
Oh man, that prison industrial complex is a monster, and they, like we said earlier, we can't blame hip hop on the world's problems, but hip hop, as we know it today, has added on to a lot of the problems, especially in the black community. And when you have songs that sing about selling dope and violence, against your own people, and whatever is the phenomenon begins to raise the children when you come from a broken home, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of these, younger brothers don't have a father in the crib. They don't have an uncle who has stepped up. So the music begins to raise the children, or the TV shows begin to raise the children. I mean, it's a sad fact. And, so he was playing the Memphis music earlier, and they had a song that said, talking trash to me, girl, that's broke the first rule. I'm going to come to your job. I'm going to act a damn fool. And what happened, he was saying he was going to push her head into the wall until he heard the cracking sound. So, so what he was talking about was, domestically abusing the black woman. You know what I'm saying? And so you see the influx of, black men beating on their black women. WWF, when they started having man versus woman matches, I knew that we was going to see an influx of man on woman violence right then, because a lot of people watching wrestling. So, anytime something comes out that has a strong viewing audience, the paradigm is going to shift. My dad said when Superfly came out, cats really thought they could do that stuff for real. We saw when Men's Society came out, everybody started robbing Chinese stores, like O-Dog did. When Set It Off came out, women started robbing banks, When Players Club came out, every woman and their mama wanted to be a stripper, So, it always does. These Jews know what they're doing, man. These kites are very evil. That's why these type of projects always get that kind of money, man. They know what they're doing. That's why Hitler wants to kill them.
And when we look at these kites, they are masterminds behind everything, man. That's why you have a schoolhouse to jailhouse pipeline. They know that the warrior class of black people are young men from the age 16 to ages 25 years old. So if they can lock up as many of the warrior class, that means when stuff hits the fan, then the people are going to be vulnerable, because the young people are not afraid. They are not scared of anything. So they're going to house them. They're going to warehouse them, first of all, to use them at their will for a workforce that they don't have to pay for. It's free labor. It's slavery all over again. If you don't know your Constitution, read your Constitution. Once you get convicted of a felony, you are a new and improved slave. So They know exactly what they're doing. They're getting about $55,000 a year for these young boys. They're putting them in a monster camp. When they come by these prison industrial complex, they are monsters. They got no ties to nothing. They're killing everything. But it's all by design. And we only think for tomorrow. They think 10, 15, 20 years down the road. So when you're talking about this prison industrial complex, man, it's the sagging thing that comes out of the jailhouse, which young men are doing right now. First of all, they don't understand that most of them do understand that means that you got an open invitation to your rectum, first of all. Second of all, what these young boys don't understand is this sagging pants. There's a study going on right now that shows when these young men get 30, 40, 50 years old, they're going to have knee problems, back problems, hip problems, and the whole 9 yards. You can't run if you can't get your legs up in the air. And you definitely can't run away if you got to hold your pants. So these people know exactly what they're doing. They're teaching these young boys to shoot sideways. Well, if you shoot sideways, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get some innocent bystanders. You're not even going to get the person that you're shooting at. So they got these boys. This prison industrial complex is a monster, and people need to wake up on that.
As Brother Kamal would say, they want to lock you up and kill you and make money while they do it.
That's right. That's right.
Caller Non-Mighty Wick, if you had a question for Brother's Keeper, your line is open. Go right ahead.
Yes, can I be heard?
Yes,
bro.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Hey, thanks for coming on the show. I wanted to ask, so if you say a high school, I want to know what would y'all say to a high school student, right, a teenager, and you know, they want to rap about something else, but you know, they got that influence that y'all talked about in their mind, and it's been in their mind, you know, growing up, seeing older people rap about hoes and all that there. You know, what would you suggest to help them transition, you know, when everybody else around them still rapping about hoes? What would you suggest to help them transition to try to write about something else more constructive?
Well, first of all, what we have found to be very, very constructive is showing these young cats a lecture on DVD by either Irritated Genie or Kush or Khalil Muhammad. These brothers have a way of reaching the youth through their lectures. And it's hard to get them to sit down and read a book, and plus that's going to take a little bit too long, and it's not going to really sink in immediately. It's not going to have an immediate impact that some of these lectures do on DVD. So we found that to be very constructive. It's very normal to walk in the crib and, you know, got about 30 or 40 gangbangers in there listening to Kill the White Man by Khalil Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that just sinks in, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It does, man. It just sinks in so beautifully. And, you know, first we have to educate them. If we want them to reflect anything different than they've been hearing, better yet, anything differently than they've been taught, we have to teach them differently.
Exactly. And then, you know, when you got people like Brother Irritated Genie, who has a new DVD out called Fighting the Poltergeist, who has these Jews telling you exactly what they plan to do in their own words inside the music, inside the television, you know, with the movies and the whole 9 yards. When you understand what it is, and these young people see this kind of stuff, they are very smart and articulate, even though they don't show it most of the time. And once they see these things, then there's a light bulb that goes off, and they begin to ask questions that you would never have thought that they would have thought about. But when they see it like this and they hear some of our music, it causes a dialogue which opens a door for you to put in what needs to be put in order to get out what needs to be gotten out.
Exactly. That's spectacular.
Thank y'all very, very much for that. If y'all want to just maybe give an idea, a piece of something that you know, a person can write about that's constructive. I did hear you say about get at the white man, you know, neutralize that force. Anything else? Because say a person who trying to go from writing about hoes to something else, you know, maybe something in between to get them on that path.
Yeah. There'll be something you can do. You know, some of them. Sometimes you can trick them into, you know, coming out of degeneracy, you know, maybe writing a song, you know what I'm saying, about no good daddies, or, you know what I'm saying, just a social situation of what they feel. You know, it ain't right that my brother down the street got to starve and he can't eat, you know, but the police making $900 a week just to beat me, you know, or whatever they want to say, you know what I'm saying. So sometimes if you can't bring them all the way to the political side, maybe you can bring them a little bit to the social side. As long as they're not being degenerate and making music that's, you know what I'm saying, causing us to be self-destructive, you know, I'm cool with that. So there is a medium with that, you know. Now, you know, it's a trip how the paradigms have shifted, you know what I'm saying. We went from gangster rap to, you know, everybody glorifying materialism and, Then all of a sudden you had a new gay-ass dance come out every 2-3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Dudes dancing like women, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just a trip, man. I mean, there's Malcolm say, we're not dying on any one front, but we're dying on all fronts. These crackers done did it to us in every which way they could. Turn us into gangsters and faggots.
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. That's wow.
Yeah, that's that double whammy. Hey, I appreciate y'all brothers very much. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Double whammy.
Somebody called in from a blocked number. A person at a blocked number. Do you have a question?
If that's me, not at the time, just listening, but I do have one complimentary CD they sent me from More on the Horizon, and I do enjoy it.
Well, thank you.
A complimentary. You got a Brother's Keeper CD?
Yeah. I've told you before, the Black Widow, Feminism, Lesbianism DVD, and the Brother's Keeper CD.
Oh, you got a real good treat there. That Black Widow DVD is very serious.
That's right. They hooked me up. I appreciate it. I really do enjoy it.
Wonderful, sister. Well, we thank you, and we're very honored to hear that you like it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Actually, I do have a...
Oops, sorry.
What advice would you have as far as maybe the possibility of reaching black children through music or hip-hop or, bringing something about like that for young people to replace the degenerate garbage that's out there now?
Wow. What we would do, I would say what we try to do, and what we have done with some success here in Memphis. Memphis, we stuck on that southern drawl of a rap, so the rhyme schemes are basically easy or whatever. So like the song we got on our last CD, Gotta Roll, basically that's a down south crump beat. On this CD we got Shooting Off, which is still, with the down south crunk beat, You have to reach the children where they are. And it's just very funny that, what draws black people to music is not necessarily the lyrics at first. Since we're such a rhythmic people, a people of rhythm, it's the drums that get us. We're African by nature, So when it's got a nice beat, we can't help but to mob to it. And we may know the song word by word, but the words have not manifested as of yet. And so the words inadvertently begin to manifest, and we don't really know what's going on. I'll give you a very quick example. Some years ago, when R. Kelly CD came out, this was before everyone knew that he's a scum of the earth, child molester, pedophile that should have been dead a long time ago. But when 12 Play came out, everybody was talking about how good 12 Play was. A lot of sisters who I worked with at the particular company. And, by me being an artist, I'm like, wow, okay, well, let me go see what everybody's talking about. So I went and bought the CD, and the next day I had it in my computer listening to it at work. And I wasn't necessarily listening to the lyrics, but that CD had a certain spirit, if you dig what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, I had emailed, now mind you, I'm, about 18, 19 years old at this time. By the end of the day, I had emailed, 6 or 7 sisters, meet me at my crib when I get off, And so these messages, if we can take that same energy and flip it into a revolutionary spirit, those words will begin to manifest at the time to where they need to manifest, case in point, when Brother Gele says, it's a young thug getting everything he needs at home, but the headphones are on. So he's listening to that, and years later, a situation may hit him. Well, why did you do that? You know what? I didn't even mean to do it. The headphones were on. I was hypnotized by these ignorant lyrics that I've been listening to. Hopefully that's what we've been trying to do, and, had some success with it with the gangbangers down here. They love our music down here, the gangbangers through the streets do. And, we're just blessed by the Creator to be able to touch them. But we have to do that. We have to re-educate them and let them know that it's okay to talk about the liberation of your people. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Do you know any producers who are looking for writers and artists to work with to produce more positive music?
Basically, our cousin, the brother who does our tracks and our beats. I wouldn't say any mainstream producer or anyone is going to do anything like we do. Not saying that some of them don't want to. A lot of them have, approached us and said, man, we wish we could say what y'all say. And but it ain't everybody's job to say what we say. They don't have to be degenerate. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to make this death noise that they've been making. But, basically, without sugarcoating it, these Porch Monkey Sambo Negroes are scared of cracker tykes, scared of losing their money. So they ain't going to say what we say out of fear of losing, they beings or whatever lifestyle they've been able to build off of our death.
Right.
Not too many of them going to go out on a limb. I hope that answers your question, sister.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Context of White Supremacy. Justice, did you have any questions? I wanted to check.
I don't have any questions at this moment, but thank you for coming to me.
Thank you, sister. And we've had the ball. We're very humbled to be on this show. We've listened to it quite frequently, and we love it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, right on. And it's linked now. The link is up. If you click Brothers Keeper, if you're listening at Blog Talk Radio, it'll take you to their site at CD Baby, and you'll see Re-Education of the Negro. If you want to go all the way back, get the debut album. Resurrection is there too. And then if you want to get Revolutionary Reconstruction, that you can just click that title right here at Blog Talk Radio, and it'll take you to Children of Southampton. You can get your, and it's a double CD, correct? Revolutionary Reconstruction?
Yes, sir, double CD. The first CD is poetry, spoken word. The second CD is jazz, R&B, Afrikan Insurrektion, hip hop. What sounds like gospel music, but we're not singing to a crack of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot on there for whatever your liking is. It's on there, Liberation African Insurrection style.
Wow. I'm real curious. Because this is a tough path to take to do the type of music and art that you all create. How have your family and friends responded to Afrikan Insurrektion Music?
Wow. They've been very supportive. They've been very supportive of it. They really have. If it weren't for them, I don't think we would be able to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. It's been, as far as our immediate families go, they're very supportive. I mean, the children walk around singing our songs, which is very flattering to say the least. So it's very beautiful. But, when you go to talking about, maybe distant cousins and things of that sort, a lot of them understand why we do what we do and why we say what we say. But, they get concerned that we're going to be physically harmed or whatever the case may be. But, like we said earlier, we have no choice in the matter. I can almost say, that we're Manchurian revolutionaries. You know what I'm saying? We've been programmed to do the job that we do, and we take it seriously, and we enjoy doing it that day. In spite of what who thinks what.
Wow. You haven't had folks who tried to talk you out of this, because you said some white folks have come at you and said, hey, you could get a little bit more money in your pocket, stop, talking bad about white people. No one's tried to, say, hey, cut that out. You can make a lot more money. You all are talented. You all could be on MTV. No one's tried to, persuade you.
Oh, yes, sir. We've had those kind of offers as far as the art and the community work goes. And, and it's, on the art side, it's nice to know that someone thinks that we're, actually talented enough to make it in the mainstream, but it's not worth selling your soul. You look at a lot of these artists, and they just have a certain sadness written on their foreheads. You know, they may be financially okay. You know, if they're financially okay, a lot of them aren't. You know, but they're tortured souls. You know what I'm saying? As they spoke earlier, you know, these people are very tortured. You know, especially, you know, so it has to sink in that sometimes that what they're doing is causing more hurt than help. You know, and that can't be any good feeling to an African, because by nature we are divine. It's by means of white supremacy that many of us have become other than divine. So, you know, when that conscience begins to sit in, a lot of these brothers and sisters are tortured beings. You know, that's why you see the heavy-duty alcohol and drug usage and this totally self-destructive behavior from a lot of these artists. And, you know, we've just been fortunate, you know. There's no way we can turn our back on liberation. You know, just, you know, it wouldn't go right. It wouldn't feel right. There's no way we could do that with good conscience.
Yele, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, like I said, brother, we just two country boys. We just two country boys down here trying to do our thing. Just do what the Creator said do, that's all. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Now, they will now, you know, they don't come to you with a death threat, you know, all at once. You know, at first they'll offer you some money. You turn it down. They'll offer you some more money. You turn that down. Then they'll offer you some, you know, some commercials or whatever it is. And then once you turn them down so many times, that's when the death threat's going to come. So we've been getting death threats for a long time, you know. So, you know, I mean, it's, you know, matter of fact, if a week goes by to where we don't get death threats, that's when we get nervous. We know something going wrong, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I mean, the enemy, you know, we have to realize that we are at war, you know what I'm saying? They have already identified us as being our victim. We just have to collectively remember that these are our enemies, and most of us will not believe that for anything in the world. So when it even comes down to that, on top of that, we got to stop being so scared to say what it is that is affecting us. You know, I mean, we got to stop being so scared to say, yeah, I mean, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you back, and I'm going to be like, yeah, this dude that did it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop being so scared to think that we are going to be ostracized because we calling the devil a devil. You know what I'm saying? You know, we've been taught that the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That sounds just like a white man to me. I don't care what you say. You know, there's nowhere on the face of this planet that they have gone and lived peacefully with the cohabitants. Nowhere. Right. So we gotta stop. We gotta stop playing. Yes, we gotta stop playing. Like I said again, we're just two country boys that have read a few books. You know, been through a little training, and we just share what it is that we've been told. You know.
I was. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that we love doing it.
I was doing my research, preparing for the program, and you just said, you know, we got to stop playing, we got to take this serious, and you all have said repeatedly, you take what you do seriously. I was watching one of your interviews, and you all said that a lot of these black children, the black male father, is just himself a older, larger child. And you said that they, you know, are just running around playing toys and video games just like the regular 12-year-old child. And I said, wait a minute, they can't be talking bad about playing video games. Did I hear you incorrectly?
Oh, yeah. You definitely heard us correctly, brother. When you got grown men that won't go to work because the new Madden 2010 coming out, when you got grown men that won't have loving and affectionate relationships with their wives and their girlfriends because they're up 3-4 o'clock in the morning playing video games. Yes, I am, brother, saying that these video games is causing some serious problems in our homes. I know for a fact of about 10 young ladies right now that is a major issue that they talk with their girlfriends about on a daily basis about men and video games. So if we ain't got our video games, then we got our cars and our 24-inch, 36-inch rims. If we ain't got our 24-inch, 36 rims, we talking about the new Jordans that coming out. We are we have become grown boys. Now, if you look at the... Go ahead, bro.
Oh, well, I was just saying, we often wondered why it seemed like black men were unable or either unwilling to grow up, all of a sudden. We originally come from a culture that celebrated elderhood, you know what I'm saying? And I know, for one, I like to physically look young, but I take pride in the young heads calling me an old head or, calling me OG. That means I have, arrived to a certain point in my head. But for the most part, brothers don't want to grow up, and I'm wondering if that's because all that is celebrating in the mainstream media of a black man is that young basketball player, that young football player, that young rapper. And so you have, brothers trying to hold on. It's like we're stuck in a permanent midlife crisis or something, you know what I'm saying? Anytime grown men have Madden 2010 tournaments in their house, you know what I'm saying? It's not children. You're talking about grown men waiting in line at the Nike store for the new J's. Just preposterous stuff, man. We have to grow up, man, because, we just like, and it's not only the brothers, we can't get on one without getting on the other. These sisters, pop dropping and locking with their daughters. You know what I'm saying? We have become grown children, raising little children who grow up to be grown children. So we messed up, man.
Wow.
We messed up there, sir.
Wow. Man, what I guess would be some suggestions if you're talking to younger folks, I guess the 16 to 25 age group, what are some suggestions? Because I've heard some people that are in that age bracket, they say it's really hard because a lot of the folks that are their age, they're going to the club. They're out having fun. They're going to the Madden tournament. They're getting the new Jordans. They're not really doing the most constructive things. So what would your suggestions, advice be to 16 to 25 black folks?
Wow, that is a rough one.
I would say my first suggestion to people in the age brackets of 16 to 25 is to first get a historical foundation of who you are and where you come from. Because if you don't have that, by the time you get 30 years old, it's gonna be even more of a lost cause. We have been taught to educate ourselves about everything other than who we are. We don't ask any questions. We don't have any elders that's teaching us this information. But we have this thing called a laptop computer or a desktop computer, and we're not using it for finding out anything about us. We need to know about our ancestors. We need to know about God. We need to know what he stood for. And if you have an understanding and awareness of what he stood for or Malcolm stood for, then you may be able to find yourself in the mix. Nothing new is under the sun. Everything that they're going through, we went through also. But the problem is that our parents didn't sit us down and teach us about these things. We're finding out, when you got grown people calling up, talking about, let me speak to Marcus Garvey at one of our talent shows, that lets you know that the educational process that used to be passed on from generation to generation is null and void. Our young people need to find out about Yah Santiwa. Our young women would do the things that they do if they understood that there was a higher or greater calling on their life, on their womanhood, and what womanhood is actually about. If mama ain't teaching you, go to your grandmama. If grandmama ain't teaching you, then you go to somebody that's going to give you the answers to the questions that you're asking. And I believe if you could capture the mind of the young people, right now the church is the greatest phenomenon for black people. Why? Because it captures the mind and attention of the young folk. So if we could do the same thing, if we could do the same thing that this so-called church is doing, then we may have a good shot at these young people's lives.
And for the young people, and a whole lot of the young cats got internet on their phone, like Brother Yelly was saying. We live in a so-called information age. And just take time to go on the internet and, just even if you just put Black history in Google and, just read some Black facts, that ought to at least pique a curiosity into finding out more who you are and whose you are. You can walk up to any so-called Jewish child and ask them about their so-called Holocaust. They can tell you everything left to right, above, below, and underneath, and in the middle. But you can walk up to the average 45 to 55-year-old brother or sister and ask them who was the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And most of us will not have a correct answer for you. Something is very wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? So, our young people, I would say if you're not around someone who is educating you, you know what I'm saying, find it within yourself to educate yourself.
Wow. Excellent suggestions. I say go to school too. Go to school. That not too many safe spots in the system of white supremacy, and I certainly wouldn't say school is a safe spot, but I think school, if you give me a choice of going to the club or going to school, I think I'm going to take school every time. The system of white supremacy. Well, are there, I'm just curious, because you're, at least to my knowledge, Memphis is an area where you got a lot of black people, you got a lot of people that are interested in music and entertainment. Are you seeing more black people who are trying to do something constructive with their art? What trend are you seeing? Are you bumping into other people who are trying to do work like you all?
No, sir, not in the least fashion of this. Hustle and Flow killed us. Hustle and Flow killed us. I thought that cracker came down here and did that doggone move in. Terrence Howard, man, I'm talking, man, these folks, every time we go somewhere, man, oh, y'all from Memphis? Man, I saw Hustle and Flow, man, y'all act like that for real. You're like, man, no. But everybody trying to get on, though. That's what's hot. You know what I'm saying? 3-6 got an Oscar for It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp. You know what I'm saying? Wow, the song wasn't even that good. So everybody is, making these dumb songs with these catchy hooks. The hooks are catchy. But the tracks seriously, there's a certain genius to what these cats do as far as artistic creativity, you know what I'm saying? I can't hate on these young cats. But as far as substance and originality goes, man, you can sing every song off of one track. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, is right now is just who can be the most degenerate, pretty much is what we're facing. Who can be the most outrageous, you know what I'm saying? If they won an Oscar for It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp, you got another artist from down here who's going to say, hey, I can outdo that. It's hard out here for a hoe. You know what I'm saying? They going so now it's like the battle of the degenerates, you know what I'm saying? Who can be the most degenerate out of who else, so it's... Hey, run in there and get my charge off.
I just wanted to...
Yeah, man. It's messed up, man. No, I was just saying it's just messed up. Ain't nobody really trying to do that. Everybody basically is paper chasing. And doing what we do, you ain't going to make a lot of money from it. Exactly.
Wow, I just wanted to point out, because you brought up 3-6 Mafia also in that area of the world. I believe their record label at one point was referenced as Hypnotized Minds. Is that accurate, or am I making that up?
No, you're correct. Absolutely correct. And what you say is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Hypnotized Minds. Hypnotized by white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Whether advertently or inadvertently. And like I say, a lot of these cats, like I said, the artist bump heads. Memphis is a small Mayberry town. So, a lot of cats know each other. And, person to person, these some good cats. If you ran out of gas on the street, one of them cats say, hey, bro, you need some help? They'll do that. You know what I'm saying? The type of cats they are. They cool. But, we can't negate the fact that what they're doing is killing us.
Wow. I heard so many people when, Hustle and Flow came out. Terrence, you already brought it up. Hustle and Flow, Terrence Howard, Ludacris is in it. I believe the same gentleman who directed Boys in the Hood, John Singleton, I believe he's executive producer. A lot of folks felt like, hey, this is great. This is black people showing, the guy, he came up, Terrence Howard's character. He did well. He was able to make his music. They said it was just a great film. You all don't seem to feel too well about that film, it seems.
No, sir. Because first of all, I don't know anybody in Memphis, and I've been here all my life. I don't know anybody in Memphis that talks like that. We say Maine, but we don't say Maine every third word. I don't know where they get that from.
Not at all. That's Terrence Howard anyway, man. Whatever movie he in, when he was at the swimming movie, y'all supposed to go swimming, man? when he played the police, man, you under arrest, man. when he hustle and flow, man, I want to make me some rap music, man. You know what I'm saying, man? That's just bad acting, period, man. And bad acting, everybody. But I have a true story concerning hustle and flow. I do theater. I've been doing theater for a long time in the city, and a sister called me who I used to work with in theater quite a bit. And the sister called and was like, it's a movie, and it's about the redemption. It says, man, he doesn't want to sell drugs anymore. He turns into a successful musician, and he's just, he wants to come out of the lifestyle of selling drugs to his people. And, they sold her this whole redemption story. The sisters get emotional about it. When the agency called me about it, I already saw straight through it when they told me Craig Brewer had something to do with the movie. I thought, well, ain't no cracker gonna make us look good, period. So, I'm saying, damn y'all and your movie. I ain't coming to the auditions. And so the sister called me about 30 minutes after I had already told the agency I wasn't going. And so she's all excited, and I'm trying to tell her, really what this movie is going to be. But, of course, she's bright-eyed and bushy tailed, and all she sees is lights. And so, of course, I'm not going to let the sister go down there by herself, good friend of mine. So I go down there to the auditions with her. And the sister is gorgeous. Like most of our sisters, she's drop-dead gorgeous. If God made anything better than a black woman, he can't perform himself. This sister here is just outrageously gorgeous. And so as soon as she walked in the audition room, all the guys were like, damn. And once they gathered themselves, they was like, okay, well, what color drawers you got on? And she said, well, I got on some black thongs, but, that's just because I didn't want my panty liner showing through my skirt. And the sister was dressed decently, you know what I'm saying? And she's a phenomenal actress. And so the dude says, all right, well, take your skirt off. And she like, for what? They said, well, ain't you here for an audition? I need to see how you look in your thongs. And she said, oh, no, I'm not here for one of those roles. I'm here for a speaking role. His response to that sister was, ain't no speaking roles for no hoes in this movie. That was on the audition set for Hustle and Flow. And y'all remember one of the sisters accused that boy with the gap in his mouth of raping her. I don't know if that was true or not. But I mean, I can truthfully say that was the tone that was set on the set of Hustle and Flow. The audition set, I saw it for myself. And that's what these kind of do to us, and we fight it every time.
You said one of the females in Hustle and Flow, she made an accusation that someone did something sexually inappropriate. Are you talking about the white actor that was in Hustle and Flow? The white male actor?
It was the Anthony Anderson dude, I think.
Yeah,
that's who it was. Yeah. Yeah, and it was a sister who had an extra role in the movie, right? She was an extra, right, bro?
Yeah, and I think it was eventually dropped, but the sister accused him of bringing her to his trailer, and him and another one of the dudes raped her.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the brother did or didn't, but I can definitely say that, it was a hypersexual tone even at the audition.
Exactly.
So, I'm not going to quickly discount the sister, nor am I going to, just accuse the brother doing something that he may or may not have done. I don't know. I didn't see that. But like I said, there was a very, the sexual tension was so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. That's how thick it was.
Wow.
So, definitely, man, they pumping this degeneracy in, and we eating it. They sell us a little redemption story. They fool us, But we, that's just black people wanting something, what I'm saying? Brother gets tired of pimping, so he turns into a degenerate rapper. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to quit selling crack because it's so bad, but I'm going to start selling heroin. You know, same difference, man, you know. Wow, man, yeah.
And people think this is you. When they bump into you and you say, oh, we're from Memphis, they say, oh, that's you, right? Hustle and Flow, that's y'all. That's what people think, right? And you all go out and tell people.
But that's again, goes to speak toward the imagery that they see of people. When you go outside of the United States and you see the reaction to people that hear you from the States, everybody outside of the States thinks you are a killer, a hustler, a raper, a this, a that, based on the images that they see of black people here in the United States. They're either going to think you're some big-time rapper or baller or whatever, and you got an exuberant amount of money simply because you're from the States. But if this is the image that's fed to the world, I ask people all the time, do you or would you have wanted the image of Precious and her mother representing black people in the diaspora? No, you would not. So why do we entertain that kind of stuff in front of our eyes on the TV and the movies? Why do we entertain that kind of stuff?
Exactly. Hey, y'all. And, these kinds have done a good job, with exploiting some of the situations that actually go on in our community. We can't negate the fact that rape and molestation and child abuse does happen in our communities, unfortunately. That's one of the ill-gotten illnesses that we got from that evil cracker on the plantation. One of those generational curses, so to say. But it doesn't speak for the entire population. And that's what these type of movies, put out towards the world. Like you said, when people find out we from Memphis, that's the first thing they ask about, Orange Mound and Hustle and Flow, because that's what's been put forth in the world. Even that new show, Memphis Beat, that detective show, every time I flip the channels and see, they say, it's a crime scene in Orange Mound. That TV show isn't even shot in Memphis, but every time you see it, they're talking about the Orange Mound, either North Memphis, So that's what's put forth before the world. Brotha Irritated Genius said he went to, he went to Ghana and got in the cab, and the dude turned on gangster music. And Gina was like, man, what you playing this for? I am American gangster rapper. And no, man, I'm listening to that, bro. You got to turn this off, you know what I'm saying? It was put forth before the world, About the way I talk, about the way I dress, about how my gold teeth look so fresh. That's what the world thinks, man.
Wow. Again, real privilege to have our guest for today's program, Brother Keepa. Want to highly encourage everybody, if you are listening, get the CD. It's linked. It's right in the description for the program. Just click Revolutionary Reconstruction. You can get the brand new album, double CD. Just click the link, take you right to the website, and you can pick that up. If you want to get Re-Education of the Negro, Resurrection, just click their name, Brothers Keepa. It'll take you right to CD Baby, and you can get both of them, several copies. Please support their work. On previous broadcasts, I have said that I think entertainment, that is one of the white supremacists' strongest weapons. Music, movies, television, big time, worldwide weapon. Those images, those songs has an extraordinary impact. Before we get ready to close out, I just would like to get, if you could kind of leave your lasting impression in terms of how, because you all have talked a lot about how so-called small hats do a lot with music, entertainment to degrade black people. How important that area of people activity, entertainment. If you could kind of give your view on the importance of that, and just really encourage us to be mindful what we're listening to, what we're looking at, and how that impacts black people worldwide. If you could both kind of give us your closing thought on that, that would be outstanding.
Well, I'll put it like this here, close it out.
Okay,
but Jeff can close it out.
Okay, this way,
you know what I'm saying? Yes, but you can close it out. like when the crackers gave us Imhotep. He was this evil monster dude in the movie called, what was the movie, L.A.? The Mummy. You know what I'm saying? When they show, you know, anything about Africa is always, you know, jungle bunnies, uncivilized people walking around talking about ooga booga, when actually there was a cracker in the cave who couldn't talk. We've always had a spoken language. You know, so anything they give us through the media is not going to benefit us, it's going to benefit them. We have to realize that they are our enemy, and nothing that they do is going to be good for us. It's only good for them. And we have to get that in our head, and that way we can understand everything that they give us through this media.
And to close it out, I would like to say that in 1992 was it, brother, that 12 Jewish white men were given dominion over what rap will be played over the airwaves. And since then, we haven't heard anything from Public Enemy and Afrika Bambaataa and all the rest of them brothers who putting out real music. We hadn't heard anything. We also know, and if you need to get this evidence, you can get the Fighting the Poltergeist DVD from the War on the Horizon, Irritated Genie, and it will point out verbatim, statements and testimonies from crackers themselves of how Warner Brothers, which are Jewish, and all the rest of these boys who own these movie theaters are Jewish. They are running this mass cycle, this mass medium of entertainment. And what we have to understand is that the images that you see on television are not good for you. When you see bringing down the house, or you see Sanaa Lathan dating some white boy, that's it. All that stuff has a secret message that plays on the psyche of black people. That is telling that there's something new. That's the movie with Sanaa Lathan. It's telling young black women that don't get with your young black brother, get you something new, which is a white dude. Or, you know, the music that you hear when it's degrading our black women and telling our brothers that our women ain't nothing. But if our women ain't nothing and we come from our women, then that means we're nothing. There is a underlying story and issue that plays, that runs simultaneous with everything that you get from them. What we have to do is develop our own medium of music, our own medium of television and films and documentaries and the whole 9 yards. That's the only way we're going to be able to combat this. So what I'm saying to my people is get this Brother Keepa CD. Get Cushion and Brother Irritated Genies and Antoine Quasi's DVDs and lectures, because this is going to be the foundation for us to go forward in our forward way of thinking. So I love you, and this is what we do for you.
Black Fabulous.
Brothers Keeper, please support third album, Revolutionary Reconstruction. You can get your copy. Just click the link. It's right in the description in the program. If you're listening at Blog Talk Radio, really, man, thoroughly enjoyed the broadcast. I'm glad we could get you on the program. I felt it was correct because we had Umar Abdullah Johnson, Professor Griff, Irritated Genie. They were all a part of the second annual Nat Turner Day weekend celebration, and you all were a big part of that as well. So I'm real fortunate we were able to get you on the program as well. And you all have open invitation anytime you'd like to come back. If you want to promote any of the other projects that you're working on, tours, anything, just let me know. And anytime we could have you on the program, it would be my pleasure.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I'll be a part of it, man. Really enjoyed this.
Pleasure was ours, gentlemen. Again, Yele, Jamalo. I'm going to play because I got another track. So we'll get to hear a lot of Brothers Keepa over the next couple programs, because I'm going to play another program to close this out. And if I get Blackface, play it tomorrow. We'll be back. Kush, the Black Unifier. Positive Comedic Visions, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. His second trip to the cows. Tomorrow afternoon, that's Tuesday, September 7th. Thoroughly enjoyed the program. I hope listeners, you all appreciate it, and I hope you will support their work. Outstanding, and I'm going to try and do my best to promote by continuing to play the songs as we move forward with programs. Again, we'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And again, any information that you need, Brothers Keeper, you can click the links that are listed in the description. Do you all have a website or anything else you'd like to, any other spots you want to direct people to if they want to get more info about you all?
Oh, well, they can go to cdbaby.com/Brothers Keeper. We're in the midst of getting our website rebuilt as we speak. But if they want the CDs, they can go to cdbaby.com/Brothers Keeper as well.
Okay. All of those spots are linked in the description. CD Baby, just click their name, Brothers Keeper, and it'll take you to CD Baby and Revolutionary Reconstruction. That will take you to Children of Southampton, and you can purchase the brand new album, Revolutionary Reconstruction. You can purchase it there. I did also want to make sure that I thanked everybody who called in on Skype yesterday for Dr. Welsing. I think I ended up having about 9 people on my Skype line alone, and everybody was quiet. They used their mute button. We didn't have a lot of background disruption. Outstanding. Thank you for respecting the program. I hope it was constructive, and I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge everyone for helping me out on the Skype line. I hope you enjoyed being able to hang out on the line to hear the full broadcast. Again, we'll be back on Tuesday, September 7th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Kush the Black Unifier, Positive Comedic Visions. We are going to go out with Brothers Keeper. This is from the new album. This is from Revolutionary Reconstruction, Shooting Off. That's going to be our end for today's broadcast. Thank you, gentlemen, for supporting, for participating. Like I said, you all have an open invitation. Anytime you'd like to come back and hang out with us, pleasure is ours. Just let us know when you want to come talk with us.
Thank you, brother. Definitely. Thanks again.
And also, excuse me, Brother Gus, that music can also be found on iTunes, movementtunes.com, and it's one more site, but I can't think of it. right now. Okay.
You said iTunes and Movement Tunes?
Yeah, it can be found on iTunes, yes, and movementtunes.com.
Okay. iTunes, movementtunes.com. So you got multiple ways of accessing outstanding African Insurrektion Muzik. Brothers Keeper, Jamalo Ayele. Outstanding program. I thank you two gentlemen, and we will continue to support your efforts here at the Context of White Supremacy. This is Shooting Off, and we'll be back tomorrow. Kush the Black Unified. Thank you so much. Replace white supremacy with justice immediately.
And the time has come for the prey to become the predator in order to survive. Rest in peace, Malcolm Shaw, Oscar Grant, Sean Bell, and all the other brothers and sisters who were forced to make an early entrance into the Ogun. This we do in remembrance of you. For Black Wall Street, Rosewood, and that damn Jim Crow, 400 years, sweat and tears, I'ma do the yellow. Tyson Miller, Rodney King, Redneck, Popo. I'ma kill me a cracker, I'ma kill me a cracker. If the crackers wanna trip, I'ma let my thing grip. If these crackers wanna trip, I'ma let my thing grip. If these crackers wanna trip, I'ma let my thing grip. I'ma let my thing grip. I'ma let my thing grip. One call, bring them all, wet brown movement, y'all, boom, Jamal, coming after y'all, every Africa, one shot, and the cracker, like the stuff, straight to hell, brother Harvey Bell, blown up to the Hugo,
die, an eye for an